Welcome back to the Daily Close. And as always, we are here with a new video for you. This time more focused on NFTs. And we're just joining the NFT hype because we think it's going to be coming back. So a few projects to share with you again. We have Crypto Pleb. How you doing, my dude?
Happy to be here, man, as always.
And Gojo, looking as clean as ever.
Just
Fresh,
learning
bro.
from you, man. Learning from you and Pleb.
Too kind.
Great. Okay, so before we get into it, let's remember that this is not financial advice. We are not official financial advisors. Please do your own research, and please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification if you like the content that we're providing. Do leave a comment. It really does help us. It only takes a few seconds. Smash that like button. It takes less than 2 seconds. It's good for your health. Without further ado, let's jump into it. So the project that I'm going to be doing today is called CyberKongz. You might have heard of this NFT project. It's not an OG project, but it is one of the projects that is taking off very, very slowly. I guess under the hood, not many people have been talking about it. Let me share my screen real quick. And this is kind of tied into a coin actually, and it's known as the banana coin. And I know it sounds a little bit insane, but in the crypto space, the meme ability goes a long way. I think people underestimate how well memes perform and how well people buy into the memes. But we'll get onto banana in a bit. First, I want to talk about the CyberKongz. Now, you might have seen some of these CyberKongz. You have the Genesis CyberKongz, which are the first 1,000 CyberKongz to drop, and then you have an additional, I think it's like 6,000, 7,000 additional CyberKongz. You've got the baby Kongs, which you can actually breed using the banana token, and then you have the most recently listed CyberKongz VX, which is basically going to be used in the metaverse in places like the Sandbox. And I don't think they have partnerships with anyone else yet, but the Sandbox is nonetheless a great sort of metaverse and one of the main ones as well. So CyberKongz, I think, has a lot of potential. Let's talk about banana for a little bit. So the banana token is basically a token that's accrued. You basically, I think it's a staking mechanism where you can actually gain 10 banana every day by owning a Genesis CyberKong. Now, at current prices, if I just go onto CoinGecko, banana is actually trading at $40. If you get 10 a day, that's $400 a day. So the people who bought in early, and I guess this is a lesson for NFTs as well. My belief is that you should bet big and with conviction. The people who bought these Genesis Kongs at the beginning are currently gaining $40 a day. And I think if you actually look at let's go to the 30-day chart, you can see the rise in popularity around the middle of this month, middle of September. It was $23. It held the sort of $23, $25 range for quite some time, and now people have realized the sort of utility of NFTs and the utility of tokens, and the price of banana has just skyrocketed up to about 40 now, and I don't really expect this to drop too far. So people who are actually getting 10 banana are doing very, very well. Now, what can you actually use a banana for? You can use it to customize. So you use banana to create sort of like lore for your CyberKongz. You want a custom name, you can spend banana and make a custom name. VX name needs an update, that'll only be 10 banana as well. You can also use it to breed, as I mentioned, and that's where the baby Kongs come in. You get this sort of like incubator, and these are selling for quite a lot on OpenSea, and we'll have a look at the prices in just a sec. But that costs 600 banana. Now, given the price of banana, that's actually quite a lot to actually spend. But if you're actually gaining these tokens, these banana tokens on a day-to-day basis, you can stack them up pretty quickly. You can sell them, or you can invest them back into the ecosystem. And they also have a banana shop coming soon, where I suspect you'll be able to buy different sort of equipments for your CyberKongz VX here, and also maybe for your actual Genesis CyberKongz as well. So let's have a look at OpenSea real quick. If I sort by, so the floor price is currently 5.9 ETH. This was I think this was maybe like 2, 3 a few weeks ago. These have really popped off. These can, as I mentioned at the beginning, they're not like OG projects, but they're one of the first to actually come in. And I did sleep on them for a while, and you know, I'm debating whether I should buy one or not. But you can see that, you know, the floor is, you know, the sixth ETH floor isn't even that deep. Once you clear 6, you jump straight to like 6.5, and is only maybe like 50 into 7 ETH as well. So this, I know not everyone can afford, you know, 6 Ethereum at the moment, but if you do have the funds, this is definitely a project that I think that is not just a flip project, but one to hold long term. And you have a lot of other projects as well within the NFT space. I think actually CyberKongz was one of the first to implement the sort of utility token banana. You have Cool Cats that are fastly becoming known as, you know, one of the blue chip DeFi, not DeFi, sorry, the blue chip projects within the NFT space. And they are releasing their own token Milk, which is similar to Banana. And you can actually gain Milk by owning Cool Cats. So the utility of NFTs is what I wanted to highlight with this project. You know, if I was to, you know, suggest a project that is a little less expensive, but nonetheless has probably more potential than the CyberKongz and the Genesis CyberKongz, is actually the CyberKongz VX. Now, last time I looked at this yesterday, the floor was one ETH. And it's been going up. Someone must be sweeping the floor on these. You don't, unfortunately, get Banana for holding these CyberKongz VXs, but I do imagine the value of these to really increase once, I think they are actually already have been implemented in the sandbox, and artists and creators can actually go in and do all sorts of cool stuff with your CyberKongz VXs as well. Now I do own a CyberKongz VX, you know, full disclosure there, but yeah, please do your own research when looking into these projects. You know, these NFTs are liquid JPEGs. Only invest what you can afford to lose, because 99% of projects will most probably go to zero. So yeah, that's the project that I wanted to cover along with the Banana token. I hope you found that interesting, and I expect a lot of other projects to be able to come out with their own utility, not just with the token, but you know, access to pre-sales, all sorts of different utility that you can actually have with owning some of these NFTs. So that's my project.
Yeah, wow, that's an absolute solid find. It's a big moneymaker I see there too. But yeah, definitely a good way to emphasize the utility of NFTs. It's a good find. Okay, next KTR.
Yeah.
Sick.
Let's move. Sorry, Gojo. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, sorry to butt in there. I guess I'll hop on and also continue this conversation around NFTs. Although what I want to talk about is recently, or I guess it's a platform that's been increasingly becoming more popular, and it's called HEN. HEN short for Hit and Hick et Nunk. I'm never going to pronounce that properly, so I'm going to stick to calling it HEN, which is how it's referred to more colloquially. Whereas KNX was talking about a project on OpenSea on the Ethereum platform, I actually want to talk about one that's on Tezos. Not a new coin by any means, but certainly an up and coming star in the recent days. I think for me, when I think about NFTs, the thing that stands out the most is the different fragments of the space that have yet been utilized to its fullest capacity. So what do I mean by that? When I think about when I think about OpenSea, which is by far the largest platform when it comes to buying and selling NFTs, that's in my mind, I think of it as where most of the blue chip, really expensive NFTs live. But as we know, NFTs, when we're thinking about utility, when we're also thinking about the purely art aspect of it, we've now seen names like Solana coming up, where NFTs are living there, where gamification and the pure processing capability of that blockchain allows for more intricate and deeper functions for NFTs. When I look at HEN, I'm thinking about the kind of indie, kind of hipstery side of the NFT art space. And then that's what I want to share with you guys today. So if I'm looking at HEN specifically, just looking at some price action here, right now it's trading at $5.72, but just a few days ago, it peaked in this massive run here at about just over $7. And you'll see that when it comes to, sorry, I'm talking about Tezos at this point where HEN resides. I'm starting off with Tezos because this coin to many of us seems almost like a forgotten project. And I think recently, a lot of its price action has been dictated by HEN. You'll see in April and May when HEN first really picked up, Tezos price also went up. And then there was a recent hack, actually just a few weeks after this massive rise that impacted Tezos' price. It dropped down here. And then with Object for Object, which is essentially a movement where artists offered to give up artwork for a relatively cheap price so that people can get started on NFTs. So from the purchaser side, it's if you've never owned an NFT, this was a great chance for you to hop in for very low cost. And then if you were an artist and you were seeking some visibility, this was a really great opportunity for you to get your art to have some exposure. And with that, we saw this massive rise appear. When I think about HEN, if I just look at the overall, whoops, did I just unshare my screen?
Yes.
No, I did. Let me pull that back up.
I see you though. I see you. Well, that's good.
I don't want the attention to be on me for this one because I think you'll find that HEN is much more interesting. But the platform looks like this. It's very cool, and you'll notice that a lot of this art and the way that it's presented is very different from OpenSea. It's got very different vibes. You can actually do a search here. I don't know if you're the type of person who likes profile pictures, you probably will be disappointed because what you'll find here is much more art-focused work. I think when I think about this platform as well, you'll notice that there are a lot of names, and if you just click on any one of these randomly, you'll see that some of them you've never heard of. Some of these artists don't even have a major following, but that's kind of what this platform is for. It's for those up and coming, really hardcore artists who want to start monetizing their work. Why is this interesting and why does it have a strong following? I think there are a couple of reasons. I'll highlight three as being the main. The first is it relieves a lot of the concerns around the environmental damage that comes with, with ETH at the moment, we're still working off of a proof of work model, which is very intensive and also not very good for the environment. So Tezos, as we know, is a much more efficient proof of stake protocol, making it an environmentally friendly option. The second thing that I think has helped HEN garner such a strong following very early on is NFTs on HEN are very, very inexpensive. So if I talk about one HEN right now being $5, and let's just randomly click on this, whoops, that happens to be sold out. I'm hoping that the other ones here are not the same, but you'll see that I click on any random one here. You have NFTs averaging about, this is as of today, about $16. Whereas if you're comparing it to the NFTs on ETH, they average about $1,400. So if you want to get into NFTs, this is also sold out, but you don't have the cash, then it's certainly a good place to start. The good thing about this is when it comes to minting NFTs, it's also not cheap if you're doing it on OpenSea. So artists who don't really have a lot of experience when it comes to crypto, but want to sort of get their feet wet, can use HEN as a much safer alternative. They can test their hand in minting, but they can also be more experimental with their projects, meaning if they fuck up and something doesn't take off or fly, they can always try again because it's really not expensive. I think it's something like 30 cents to mint, which is absurd, really cheap. The other thing is, and I'm sticking to the artist perspective here, what makes it super attractive for them is royalties. We know even on artwork on ETH, you can set a royalty percentage. So meaning when it's sold after the initial purchase, the artist will continue to get a portion of the sale back. HEN offers a relatively higher percentage of royalties. So we can look, my goodness, every single project I'm looking at has been sold out, but I guess it comes to show how much activity we're getting here. But you can see so royalties up to about 20-25%, which is great. So there is a lot of incentive for artists to actually consider this platform and just get their name out there. Like I said, if you are somebody looking to flip though, maybe this isn't as great of a platform, depending on the artist, really. If you get someone with setting the royalties to about 10%, I don't think that would dissuade any flippers. But what we're really encouraging here is more of the exposure, and also for the artists and also for people who don't have NFTs to get their first chance at owning one and starting that experience. My opinion, and this is just if I'm just making a wild guess here about where we're going with NFTs, when I see the various types of NFTs that exist, we have the blue chips, we have the ones that have a lot more utility, maybe gamification attached to it, and it requires a lot of processing power. And then we just have pure art. I believe that there will come a time when we're going to be consolidating all this, meaning I think that there will be a time when there will be a platform that emerges that is able to take NFTs from OpenSea, from Sol, from HEN, and then have it available in one location. But until then, I think the fragmentation allows for a lot of people to really take advantage and benefit from getting what seems like low value NFTs right now and buy them before they really increase in value after this consolidation. Now, when is this going to happen? I don't know, but I have a few, actually, I have a few pieces of news that I guess indicate that this might be happening sometime soon. The first is regarding what has been happening when it comes to Tezos and OpenSea specifically. OpenSea has actually received, or has actually been making efforts to increase and actually exist on Tezos as a way of bridging the NFT space between these two platforms. This happened a few months ago, but as we saw, I think around May, when NFTs really exploded, the team at OpenSea found that they didn't have the capacity to put time and money into this project. So it had to be parked to the side while they focused on keeping OpenSea running. But just this first move is an indicator to me that we are inching towards that consolidated platform. Now, how does this work? And if I think long-term, what impact does it have on NFT collectors? In my mind, if you can get some of these pieces, again, you can find a lot of pieces on HEN for like 0.1, 0.01 Tezos. If we consolidate and people start to, really shill those artists, you might have insane returns on some of these limited, 100 editions, 50 editions, 20 editions that you got way before this consolidation period. I'm going to pause here when it comes to HEN, because inevitably it's also linked to, and the reason why it's seeing a lot of success is because of Tezos itself. As a platform, I think the one thing that we can see with Tezos is that it solves a lot of problems that a lot of similar ETH killer chains haven't been able to solve. It's open source, check. Proof of stake, check. So it makes it energy efficient. It supports P2P transactions with smart contracts, check. It's on-chain governance, which means that there's less of a chance for forks. The way that they do this is because anyone who participates on the blockchain, so either you're a validator or just someone who holds these tokens, they can have and vote for any changes on the platform. They're called bakers. So this method of governance is really, really popular, or has been really popular recently, especially when we're talking about what decentralization actually means. For the case of Tezos, this is what it means. It's the community is in charge of making calls and voting for changes on the system. And you know what? Sometimes people think that's usually not a very good way to operate if you're thinking about pushing for, I don't know, wide scale changes, because depending on what the sentiment is at the time, and also depending on what the market is feeling at the time, you might dissuade, or some people might be dissuaded to vote against what would otherwise be a good change. But in this case, I think with this kind of voting and governance mechanism, with the track record so far has been great. So they've made 7 successful changes since this kind of self sort of governance protocol has been put in place. If you want to get started in HEN, as I'm sure some of you might be thinking about getting some exposure with NFTs, the thing that I would recommend is actually, first off, this might sound weird, but not use the HEN website or the official HEN website, the one that I showed you earlier. Instead, I would use a website like HEN Next, HENEXT, or object.com. The reason why is because if you look at any of these 2 platforms, just the interface is great. You can see how many editions of one piece. You can see how much it costs. So this person got this, albeit this is a ripoff type of artwork project. I wouldn't invest in some of these copycat projects on the platform, but you'll see how much the last person bought it for. And then if you want to get some Tezos to be able to make these purchases, I would recommend 2 wallets. You can look at Kukai wallets, or you can get Temple wallets in order to load up and buy these NFTs. Really simple and easy, but that's it for me. I hope that you found that useful.
What's up? That's a lot of alpha right there. That's good. Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
HEN is, I mean, it's been around, I think since 2020, but it's really picking up steam now, where, smaller artists can actually, as you mentioned earlier, mint their projects at a very, very low cost. So definitely a platform to look out for. And I think if we do get the integration with Tezos and OpenSea, that'll be massive. I do also think that the future is cross-chain NFTs. So you'll have one platform, let's say, for example, OpenSea. I'm not saying that OpenSea will be the one, but there will be a platform that, integrates and amalgamates all the different NFTs that you have across the different chains, which will be insane. Cool, great project, Tezos, and also HEN. Let's move over to Crypto Pleb with some more alpha for you. What we got from the Crypto Pleb?
All right. So let me go ahead and share my screen here, because today I will be talking about LUKSO. All right. Well, so I don't know if you guys have heard about LUKSO before. And actually, whilst I've been going through the Reddit pages, a lot of people, one of the common threads is, how did you come across LUKSO? Because this doesn't seem to be a name that's been popping up very often, and probably an indication of why this might be considered a hidden gem or an undervalued project. But just to cut right into it very simply, what LUKSO does, this is it's a blockchain that allows for tracking of goods that are manufactured, and you can track them onto the blockchain. So you can track where they've been made and the origin of that item. I think something like VeChain, for example, which also helps with supply chain and tracking goods where they originate from. And overall, these kind of projects just seek to help preserve the authenticity or originality of things that are created in real life, so people can have some more confidence when they actually purchase it. But let's just jump into the background and the team. And so I don't know if you guys know Fabian Vogelsteller, but it's a very big name within the space. And I'm going to show some key reasons why. But as you can see here, he's a blockchain veteran who's part of the Ethereum Foundation in its early days. From 2015 to 2018, he helped shape the Ethereum space, and he was building an Ethereum wallet, the first decentralized Web3 browser, and tools like Web3.js. So, I mean, I say he's one of the key, very strong architects, within Ethereum, and helped propose ERC20, the new token standard that initiated the ICO wave, the DeFi movement. So we have him, who's on LUKSO, and then we also have his wife, Marjorie Hernandez, and she is a entrepreneur, designer, but more importantly, she's more of a product expert for brand strategy, for marketing. Her area, she's worked with EY's Digital Innovation Lab, and worked in digital transformation worked as a digital transformation and strategy executive. And she's been working closely with Ethereum and with the IOTA Foundation. But why this matters is because, back to the original point I was saying before about LUKSO, which helps track the authenticity of manufactured goods, the origin. LUKSO is more focused on the fashion industry specifically. And so nowadays, there's other tools out there that put little chips into or put little technology into clothes, and then you can read it and it tells you exactly where it came from, so you can track it in the real world. LUKSO aims to do exactly the same thing, but have it on the blockchain. And when you have this team, I think it gives you very good cause and reason for why they're going to be such a very strong project coming up here in the future. But as for the team here, I'm going to come back to this page a little bit later to talk a bit more about what's cool about it. But if we talk about the tokenomics here, actually just come down as well. So with LUKSO, oh, there you go. Yeah, so they have, actually that's right up. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. So they have 100 million LYXE that's going to be put into circulation. That's the max total supply, and right now we're sitting around 15 million right now. I mean, I like how they put these numbers down here to give what the current market cap is and what the final market cap might be, because if my calculation is correct, that's going to put us up around what, seven times at least to get to that level of market cap. That might be something to be at least somewhat bullish about. But if we move further down here, you can see how this is currently allocated right now. And there's a key point here, because right now LYXE is built on ERC20 on Ethereum. But once LUKSO's mainnet, once that comes out, it'll be its own blockchain, and the token on there will be called LYX. And so LYXE and LYX are the same asset. So that's an important point, because I think when they come with the mainnet, and I think we're thinking maybe later in 2021, Q4. Of course, there might be delays as with any kind of project. This is something that some people might get confused about at first. But yeah, so I mean, this is how it's allocated right now. With LYXE, LAX, this is used for the transaction fees, which is paid by the users and received by the block producers. This is like a proof of stake model that they're using. So also, very green way of running their blockchain when it comes out. And obviously you're gonna be rewarded for staking and operating on the blockchain. And actually, I want to pull back to one thing here. So they're on ERC20, but they also are adopting ERC 725. I'm not sure if you've heard of this before, but also Fabio Volksteller is a major proponent of this as well. Just to summarize it up very quickly, it describes a proxy smart contracts controlled by multiple keys and other smart contracts. What does that mean? This means that these identity smart contracts can describe humans, groups, objects, and machines. So, okay, so if they can describe that, why is that important? This allows for self-sovereign identity And users should be able to own and manage their identity instead of ceding ownership of identity to centralized organizations. And you think your next question would likely be, so why does that matter? Well, one example I might want to give, and I think if I go to the article here, oh no, actually, I don't think that's the best place to go. Yeah, I think just simply enough, the example I can give is that, for example, if you buy something on PayPal and you don't like the service and return it, and then you're tired of the service, so you close your account with PayPal, for example. However, more often than not, your data is still going to be, even if you delete everything, they still have some of the remnants of your data. And more often than not, they're probably selling it to, you know, as most companies do, sell your data to another company, and there's nothing you can do, unbeknownst to you, usually against, you know, not to your benefit, right? ERC 725 allows for wherever you put your data, when you leave, you take your data, and it can't be tracked or can't be used against you. And that's also something that the architect, Fabian, is helping put into this space and then using into this project as well, which puts it in, maybe in a higher or more modern level technology that's being used in the blockchain space, especially on the ERC layer. You also want a big shout out to, well, I guess shout out in a sense, but their advisory board. So as you know, it's mostly based on fashion industry. And so when you think about the fashion industry, some of the big problems, actually, I'll come up here for actually, don't take my word for it, but LUKSO's main obstacle at the moment is one shared with everyone else in the field of fashion and widespread adoption standard for large fashion brands. What they're getting to here is the difficulty of building a consortium amongst different fashion brands because there's not really an incentive to work together because most of the time they're competing with each other. But if we come back here, so far we have, you know, Nike on the advisory board, Chanel on the advisory board, two major players in the fashion space. It's still a young project. It's only been out since 2018. So to get these on the board, that's remarkable. We also have big names like former COO from Deutsche Bank. We also have it from the largest asset manager in the world, BlackRock, here as well. There are advisors on this board. And then they're also teaming up with the head of strategic partnerships for EMEA in Instagram as well. We have the money, we have the marketing, we have the brand. This is a start to something that's going to continue to grow to be something very large. And for anyone who decides to hold a bag, maybe something that could be quite profitable. And, you know, now we can't really count the last day because we had a bit of a dip in price. Right now, LUKSO had a massive run up before a dreadful today. But I mean, I was looking at this maybe about a week ago or so, I think about here. And oh my goodness, I think we were able, where's my fib? There we go. That's not it. That's what I'm looking for. We're looking about, yeah, it's at 80%. That's a pretty good climb, isn't it? Yeah, LUKSO had a really good climb, and just in the last couple of days. Now it's obviously going back down because of the current climate right now, but I think that it gives good cause because people are starting to catch notice of this platform as well. I don't want to take up too much more time, but some big other points that are pretty interesting. They are coming out with their mainnet architecture with the Casper beacon chain. They are finishing up the final architecture for this. This just brings compatibility to the Ethereum space and is tooling through the EVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine Execution. So this is just one of the more advanced levels of proof of stake algorithm that's running today. So high level technology is being integrated to the platform. Moving on, you know, they are, you know, as of January 28, their L16 testnet, the new architecture for LUKSO. You know, they are, so based on this here, I mean, they have the for L15 is currently up. I use a test the L16 right now, but this should be coming out, you know, quite soon. But this is their entire business intelligence or the tool. I think the key point I want to pull off here is that the transactions per second is actually, well, I have to summarize right now, but it's about 400, 500 or more transactions per second is what they're at for this. Their mainnet's not even out yet. I'll find the link and I'll put it down below. But just in the final few moments here, also the dematerialized, actually this is still in beta, so probably best to just look at their Twitter, which is just an experimental marketplace for fashion NFTs, which this is what ties into our NFT talk today that I'll try to get to. But one thing that's been actually, and this will be our last point, what has really been driving this price up recently is that Marjorie, Seller's wife, who's deep in the fashion brand space, she announced that the newest NFT drop for Vogue Italia will be coming out on the platform on September 23rd, which is this week. And that was actually some, actually it's right here with a drop. This, among other NFT drops, are coming out as well. Yeah, if you want to use dematerialized, it is invite only. So you got to go into the website, and down here at the bottom, you have to hit access. They send you an email, and you gotta wait for the link to come. Once you get that, you might be able to access these NFTs that are coming out. But obviously, these are coming up by high level people. These NFTs, I think, could be something huge. And if we're staying consistent with what we've been talking about in this video, it's best to get it early and with conviction. And like a wise man once told me, you can make a lot of money here. So with that, I'll say thank you, and over to you, KNXPTR.
Cool. Yeah, very, very interesting project. It's actually the first time I've heard of it as well. So I should definitely take my own advice and do my own research on that. It looks very, very promising. Launching their own blockchain as well as ties to the NFT space as well. So looks very, very cool. Along with HEN as well. We had some very, very interesting projects. If you do like the projects, go and check them out. We've got HEN, which is in Latin, I think it's hic et nunc, here and now. We have LUKSO, the new blockchain tied in with NFTs, specifically within the fashion space for now. And we have my project as well, which was the CyberKongz. So go and check them out. As always, this is not financial advice. Do your own research. Can't state that enough. But if you did find this content useful, please smash that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification, all that good stuff to be kept up to date with the latest news and the best projects, we believe, on YouTube. So go ahead and do that, and we'll catch you next time.
The day to close. Later, guys.
May the pump be with you guys.
Get the pump be with you.